All right, stream. Let's go. Make sure the mic's turned up. Okay, there we go. There we go. Are we officially live? What is up, everybody? Wonderbro here with Vacate Fear, and we've got a good one for you today. We're going to be talking about mind attacks. Mind attacks is the point of today's stream. Let's give it a few minutes like we always do. Let some people get in here who want to join us live. It's going to be a good one, chat. It's going to be a good one. Understanding and dealing with mind attacks. We're going to get into what exactly a quote-unquote mind attack is. And then we're going to get on to how you deal with it, how you overcome it. What's up, PJ? Welcome to the stream, dude. How are you doing? Xavier, what's up? Welcome to the stream, everybody. Welcome, Cade. Jonah, what's up, everybody? Yes, perfect timing. Hello, Wonderbro. Hello. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Sherry, how you doing? Welcome. So, mind attacks, the topic of today's stream. What exactly is a mind attack? We're going to get into that in just a second. Here recently, we've been having like timestamps in the comments of the stream. So if you missed the stream or want to rewatch them and figure out what point in the stream you want to get to watch, look for Holds' comments. He's been doing timestamps here recently on the streams. Very, very helpful. Man, the topics are being so on point lately. Great job, Wonderbro. Hey, I appreciate that. What's up, Holly? Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Yes, finally in time for a live stream. Welcome. I'm glad you could catch it. Hope you're all having a great day. Doing great and about to face another fear again today. That's awesome, Sherry. You are kicking butt. Keep it up. Keep at it. Dedication is key, right? Day after day. What's up, Sam? Welcome to the stream. How you doing? I don't think I have. Xavier, I don't think I have. Alright, guys. Got a handful of people in here already. We're going to jump right into the point of today's stream. Understanding and dealing with mind attacks. Now, first and foremost, what do I even mean? What do I even mean? Wonderbro, what are you talking about when you say mind attacks? What the hell is a mind attack? A mind attack, okay, can be summarized very quickly by saying a negative intrusive thought. Or a whole wave, okay, a whole wave of negative intrusive thoughts that then cause a reaction, right? They then cause a reaction in the body. They spike some anxiety in you. You know, you're just sitting there, negative intrusive thoughts, they come in waves. Here they come, boom, they crash into you. You can hear them in your head, and all of a sudden you're just full of anxiety, right? So what do we do? Now, a lot of times, and chances are if you're sensitized or if you're here right now on the stream, you're going to relate to what I'm about to say. A lot of times as human beings, we're under that conditioning where when a mind attack happens, when we have that negative intrusive thought flood in and it causes so much anxiety, the first thing we do out of bad habit, out of conditioning, is react. We try to get up there with it. We try to fight with it, wrestle with it, argue with it, right? We react in the body. We react, and the body reacts by itself, right? If you're severely sensitized, the body reacts by itself. Intrusive thoughts can be triggering for the body. We know this to be true because the body doesn't know the difference between a threat and a negative thought, right? So the body triggers by itself, and then you automatically react. You react to the symptoms that the thought brings. You react to the thoughts themselves, whether you start to have this like inner dialogue with the negative intrusive thoughts. You get up there and you start fighting with them and arguing with them. You're very negative about the symptoms you're feeling. You try to fight the thoughts away. You try to forget about them. You react to them. You react to them. You react to them. And now you're just caught in this web, this spiral, this rabbit hole, right? So reacting to negative intrusive thoughts, aka mind attacks, takes you into this rabbit hole. You react to one, the body starts going, you start thinking, you start adding a lot of negativity. It's just this rabbit hole, right? So what we really have to do when we experience mind attacks, aka those waves of negative intrusive thoughts that make the body react, is we have to notice what's happening. Okay, there's the negative intrusive thought. The body is now going to jump in because the body doesn't know any better. I need to take a step back from all of this. I need to take a step back from all of this and understand one thing, most importantly, is that the more I react, the more anxiety I get. The more I react, the stronger the thoughts become. The more I react, the more I fall down this rabbit hole. So it doesn't matter how important the thought seems to be, right? That's another big pointer. It doesn't matter how important the thoughts seem to be. It doesn't matter how strong of a reaction they bring you, because that's just based on your current state of nerves, right? So all of that is irrelevant. How important the thought pretends to be, how much it triggers you, all of that is irrelevant. We need to handle it all the same way, right? I think we're getting a little, okay, spike lag. We'll get through it in just a second. There we go. All right, so all of that is irrelevant. How important the thought seems to be, how much of a trigger it is to you, all very irrelevant, because we handle it all the same way. Our involvement is fuel to the fire. And what you really got to practice doing when these mind attacks happen, is taking that step back, that initial step back, right? Because you really do have a choice in that moment. You can go down road A or road B, and road A says, okay, I'm going to react. I'm going to get involved in every way, shape, or form. I'm going to give my entire being to this, and that brings the fuel to the fire. That shows the brain there's some sort of importance here when we know there's not. That shows the brain that there's some sort of danger here when we know there's not. So really, it's a two-step process. You have to be aware when a mind attack occurs, and then you have to know that you have a choice. Do you go down A, which is reactivity, or do you go down B, which is take a step back and just realize what's happening? Just be aware of what's happening. You know, being aware of what's happening is the strongest tool of transformation that you can have, because when you're aware of what's happening, you're less likely to react. When you're aware of what's happening, you're less likely to get involved because you know the truth, right? So, you know, these mind attacks seem to come out of nowhere, aka these negative intrusive thoughts. They seem to come out of nowhere, and depending on your level of sensitivity in the moment, they can trigger you mildly or, you know, very aggressively. But regardless of all this, we have to be aware of what's happening and just stay as awareness. We have to be aware of what's happening and just stay as the person who knows what's up and refuses to get involved, is not going to get involved because you know the truth, right? So the absolute worst thing you can do when a mind attack occurs is to take it personally. The absolute worst thing you can do when a mind attack occurs is get up there and get involved with it and try to do something about it, right? You have to show non-importance to these mind attacks in order for them to leave you alone. You have to be aware of what's happening and then show non-importance. Because if you show non-importance, if you don't try to do anything with the thoughts and you just accept the feelings for what they are, right? No second fear. When you show non-importance to the mind attacks and you show non-importance to the symptoms, you start to realize that you truly are in control of whether or not this has to grow into something huge, whether or not this has to grow into a whole bunch of second fear. You start to realize that second fear is your choice, and you start to realize that when you get into the habit of non-reaction, right, that you are literally in control of whether or not these negative intrusive thoughts and these symptoms have to turn into a big deal, right? So mind attacks, and we did a graph the other day, mind attacks falls under that umbrella of first fear, because you don't have say-so over what negative thoughts come. So it falls under that umbrella of first fear. And you know, the symptoms that follow also falls under that umbrella of first fear. But what you start to realize when you stop giving your attention to these thoughts and feelings and you just accept them for what they are and you just become aware of what's happening, you realize that it's really up to you whether these first fear things like symptoms and intrusive negative thoughts become a huge problem. It's really up to you. And once you realize that, you're golden. Once you realize that, you're like, holy shit, I don't have to be afraid of first fear. I don't have to be afraid of mind attacks. I don't have to be afraid of the symptoms that follow. I don't have to be afraid of any of this because I am in control of whether or not they turn into a big deal. Determining whether or not I add second fear is up to me. And because it's up to me, I'm in control of whether these first fear things like intrusive thoughts and symptoms become a big deal or not and ruin my day or not. So, you know, the other day, and I highly recommend you watch the last stream we did prior to this one if you haven't already, because it was so good. You can check the comments and see the timestamps, but we did a graph, and it went on to explain how 5% of your suffering is that first fear, right? The symptoms and the thoughts. And 95% of that suffering is the second fear, whether you react to those symptoms and thoughts, whether you, give them your full attention, or whether you just take a step back and stop telling yourself negative, scary stories, negative things about these thoughts and symptoms. Change your perspective, right? First fear is 5% of your suffering, but you're in control of that second fear, which is 95% of your suffering. So you got to get into the habit of not reacting to the first fear symptoms and thoughts, and understanding that second fear is up to you. What is second fear? The way you talk to yourself about first fear, and that is your choice, right? So get into that habit of non-reaction. Get into that habit of taking a step back and being aware of what's going on. Okay, here's first fear. Call it out, guys. Call it out if you have to. Here's first fear presenting itself through a thought or a symptom. There's first fear. I've pointed it out. And now, because I've pointed it out, I'm in a much better position to determine whether or not I want to add second fear, right? So many people don't even do the pointing out part, guys. If you don't do the pointing out part, how do you even know what's going on, right? How do you even know you have a choice? So you got to get into a habit of pointing out that first fear. There's that first fear, and then you can determine whether or not you want to add second fear. Hopefully the answer to that question is no, but you got to get into the habit, all right, guys? So when a mind attack happens, you must understand that is considered first fear. You didn't really have a choice in that. Symptoms may follow. They probably will if you're sensitized. But it's really up to you at that point, when a mind attack happens, if you want to add that second fear or not, by getting involved, by trying to wish it away, by fighting with it, by wrestling with it, by arguing with it, right? You need to get into that habit of pointing that first fear out, and then choosing to just be aware of what's happening, instead of doing all this other junk that has kept you in the hamster wheel for so long. Just be aware that first fear is present, okay? That's enough. Just being aware that first fear is there puts you in a position of, okay, I'm aware of what's happening. I don't have to be completely consumed and start adding second fear out of bad habit, right? So just being aware will take you leaps and bounds ahead of where you are. And a lot of people might hear that and say, well, I'm very, very well aware that first fear is there. You say that now. But wait until, an hour or two from now, when you're sitting around minding your own business and first fear happens and you automatically jump in with second fear. You can say you're aware now, but in that moment, you become so consumed and tricked by the first fear that you don't even take 2 seconds to take a step back and point it out, right? So it's easy to be aware when it's not around, but it's also really easy to fall into the bad habit of giving into, okay, when you're just minding your own business. So it's easy to say that you understand first fear now, but do you even take a step back and call it out when it happens? Or do you just become completely consumed and the second fear habits start to roll out almost like second nature, right? That's what's happening to most people. So being aware is enough, guys. It's enough to make a huge difference in your life. Being aware. Eckhart totally calls it awareness, and it is so important. It is so important. Because if you're not aware in the moment, you just get totally swept away by second fear habits, almost out of second nature, almost out of habit, which it is. It is a habit. Second fear is a habit. So you got to practice, guys. You got to practice, and that is the point of today's stream, understanding and dealing with mind attacks. If you enjoyed the point of today's stream, make sure you leave a like. It really does help me out. Not to be that guy, but we are so close to 9K. We are right around the corner from 9K, guys. So make sure you like the stream if you did enjoy it. I am open for questions now. If anybody would like to ask some questions, feel free to throw them out there in the chat, and I'll do my very best. What's up, Migs? What's up, Tiger Lily? Welcome to the stream. Hope you guys are having a good day. So questions, guys. If anybody has questions about today's topic or any topic in general, feel free to toss those out there, and I will do my very, very best to answer them. Questions. Also, if you're missing our live streams because YouTube notifications are being really untrustworthy lately for some reason, feel free to join us over on Discord. I'm going to drop the link to that. I always try to announce to my Discord chat that I am live, so that's one way that you can make sure that you always catch us, is to join us on Discord. Kay, what's up? Hello. Man, I need this right now. I had one of the biggest panic attacks I've ever had last night. I lost my mind for a couple hours. Feel stupid that it happened. Just still feeling terrible. First and foremost, let go of the guilt. You can't change the past, and trying to will only make you miserable. So first and foremost, let go of that guilt. Secondly, understand that you're going to have to fall to really get to that place where you truly start to dedicate yourself to these new habits, right? We need suffering. We need to fall from time to time because it shows us what we want. It shows us what we want and what we don't want, right? Contrast. So it's okay. You can't change the past. Let it go and just start again today. Today is a new day. Today is a new day. Who are some spiritual guides similar to Eckhart, Moji? Alan Watts. I like Alan Watts. He's a little bit over your head, so I don't know if I would recommend him for beginners, but I love Alan Watts. He's one of my favorites. Sage Guru. He's a little bit easier to understand. I would recommend him. That's really the four that I listen to. Eckhart, Moji, Alan Watts, Sage Guru. I've been feeling more sensitized than usual. I feel like I can't think. Come to rational conclusions. Do you have any explanation for this? So trying to rationalize with your negative, intrusive thoughts is pointless, right? You're just fueling the fire. It's one thing to view life in a positive manner. It's one thing to change your perspective of the symptoms and thoughts, but to actually get specific with the thoughts and try to change them, that's just fuel to the fire. So you need to practice taking a step back. There's first fear. Point it out. Get into the habit of pointing out first fear, and that's a great first step. That'll take you so far. Get into the habit of pointing out first fear. There's that negative intrusive thought. There's that symptom. What do you do with it? Nothing. You just don't add second fear. Healing's more about what you don't do as compared to what you do. So get into a habit of calling out first fear, and instead of doing anything about first fear, just realize that it is first fear, and that you're not going to give your focus, time, or attention to it. You're just going to let it be, leave it alone. The body will heal itself if you let it. How long do sensitized nerves take to heal? It's really hard to say. It's impossible to say, actually. It could be months, weeks for some people. It really depends. I don't know your level of sensitization. I don't know how dedicated or not dedicated you are to the advice. There's a lot of things I don't know. And even if I did know that stuff, it'd still be almost impossible to give you an answer on that one. Take it day by day. Hey, Wonder Bro, Mark from the UK. Did your body muscles permanently tense up all day? I now found it does body. Guess I'm reacting to it. If you're reacting to it, we call this second fear. This is what we're all here to learn about breaking, right? But yeah, I did have my muscles tense up, but everybody's symptoms are different. Everybody's symptoms are different, and the symptoms that scare you the most for whatever reason, right, for whatever negative conclusions you've come to, those are going to be the ones that you tend to give more of your focus to because you're the most scared of them. So I may have had my muscles tense up from time to time, but I wasn't scared of that. Therefore, I didn't give my attention to it. Therefore, I didn't really think about it. So it really depends. What are you giving your attention to in a negative way? It's easy to throw the advice out the window when strong first fear happens. And that's the situation that most people find themselves in. It's easy to throw the advice right out the window when strong first fear happens, but that's because you got consumed by your own second fear so quickly that it got a bit out of hand, right? Right, and that's why I say the most important part of this, being aware of when first fear strikes, and then being aware that second fear is up to you. And if you didn't watch the stream prior to this one, I highly, highly recommend it. You can't miss it. It's got a picture of Alan Watts and a little dragon on there. It's kind of funny. For example, one day I'll think way about a certain topic. The next day I'll think the complete opposite. This makes you feel bipolar. Is this common? I think you're just spending too much time in your head. But I will say that Dr. Clearweeks mentions indecision as being a very common symptom. So, yeah, that can be a very common symptom of sensitization. Don't overthink it, right? Easier said than done. But yeah, common symptom. That's a common symptom. Appreciate the likes, guys. If you enjoy the stream, make sure you give it a like. It really does help the channel. The last stream was great. You just got to take it to heart, right? Watch it several times if you have to. You really got to take this stuff to heart. You really got to let it seep in. I know it's not the easiest thing in the world to break the habit of second fear. I know it's not the easiest thing in the world to digest this stuff, but It'll happen for you. We're planting those seeds every time we watch a stream. We're planting those seeds. You know, don't be ashamed in your free time, in your downtime, to watch the streams again if you need to, as long as you make sure, the most important part, that you're applying it, right? That you're applying it, that you're not just watching the stream and then shutting it off, and then, you know, it all goes out the window. It's all great and it sounds all good while you're watching the stream, but as soon as the laptop closes, it's just like right back into the same old bad habits, right? Make sure you don't fall victim to that. One thing I've thought about is when another stressful situation happens, if these same disgusting thoughts will come back, all my intrusive thoughts are all about why I got sensitized. So still, a lot of mind game going on there. A lot of mind game, not enough awareness. A lot of mind game, a lot of giving into, a lot of thinking, a lot of what if, right? A lot of mind game going on there. Be aware of that first fear. First fear is those intrusive thoughts, those questions that pop up in your head that are just negative in nature, those symptoms, right? Be aware of first fear and stay as just awareness. Feeling like this won't go away? Well, you got to remind yourself there's nothing that you wish away. Right now, that's your second fear talking. That is your second fear talking. Someone also deleted the long Dr. Claire Weeks interviews on YouTube's. I want to find them. I can't. All that's left are 1-minute videos. Well, you know, so be it. You know about first and second fear. You can't rely on myself or Claire Weeks for too long. You got to get going, right? You got to get going. You got to get going. So the thing about it is, it's okay to have that guide. It's okay to have that mentor. But at some point, you got to say, look, I am stuffed like a fucking Thanksgiving turkey with information, right? But I'm not using it. So that's the realization that I had to come to, because I was that way. I had so much information, but I wasn't actually applying it. And that's why I mentioned in like my story video and stuff like that I knew about acceptance years before I started using it, and that's true. I knew all this stuff. I was filled to the brim with information and never once applied it. Never once applied it. So don't fall into that same trap that I did. Don't fall into that same trap that I did. Be aware of first fear, call first fear out, and stay as just awareness without adding that second fear. That is recovery in a nutshell, right? You can call it first and second fear. You can call it the two main keys. You can call it whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, it all comes down to the same thing, which is being aware of first fear, understanding that first fear is there, and not adding that second fear, right? Right? At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So if you just heard me speak those words, then you already know all there is to know. Everything else is just a bonus. Everything else is just a rehashing. Everything else is just sharpening your skills, right? If you heard what I just spoke, then you know everything there is to know. But now we got to start using it, and that's the kicker. That's the kicker. A lot of people wait to hear that magical phrase. A lot of people wait to hear that magical set of words, that magical sentence that just doesn't exist. You already know all there is to know if you understand first and second fear. You already know all there is to know. But don't convince yourself that there must be something I'm missing. There must be something I'm missing. There must be something I'm missing before I can get the hang of this. No, if you understand first and second fear, you're ready to go. It's up to you when you want to get going. No one can make you get going. That part is up to you. But if you understand the first and second fear concept, you're ready to go. You're ready to go. Start pointing out first fear and start breaking the habit of second fear, right? And if you didn't, like I've already said it like 3 times, but if you haven't seen the graph that we did on first and second fear, go back to the stream from the last stream we did. I don't think it was yesterday, the day before. Look in the comments. You'll see the timestamps there. Watch that. If you don't feel confident that you understand the difference between first and second fear, watch that. But I'm telling you, like 90% of you already know what's going on here. 90% of you already know the truth. It's just a matter of getting going. It's just a matter of getting going. I don't want to be sensitized again, all over again. Will this go away? Last night rocked me. So still a lot of second fear being added right now. When you ask the question, will this ever go away? I don't want to be sensitized all over again. What are you doing? You're entertaining horror stories. You are telling your mind there's a problem. You're telling your mind there's a danger. So the question, will this happen again? Will this go away? I don't want this. I don't want that. This is all second fear that you're adding currently right here in the stream. Do you see what we're getting at with this? We want to point out when we see second fear. That way you guys can become aware of what it is. And those were perfect examples, without you even knowing, those were perfect examples of second fear. Perfect examples of second fear. And I'm glad you said that, so that we could point it out, because I love examples. So I'm glad you did that, so that we could point it out, so that hopefully you can start to get a better understanding of when you're adding second fear. Hi and hello everyone. What's up, Arnold? Welcome to the stream. I love examples, so I love when people give me examples. I love it, and I only do it to help. My reactions from thoughts are pretty much gone. I don't get anxiety anymore. The only thing is that just a bunch of intrusive thoughts of my irrational self, mostly just annoyed and aggravated. So you're in that annoyed and aggravated state. No more of a reaction. You're just annoyed and aggravated by it. Stay as awareness. That'll start to dissolve. I definitely see it now. Sorry, brother. Hey, you're all good. Like I said, I love being given examples. I love it. It helps people learn. Second fear is so sneaky. It really is. That's why I'm so happy Elliot said that, so I could point it out directly. You see how sneaky and sly second fear can be. First fear is the symptoms. First fear is those negative, intrusive thoughts. But you got to practice and get better at pointing out first fear, being aware of first fear, and just staying as awareness, not adding second fear, right? Right? That's what we got to do. All right, guys, I will be back in just 2 seconds. Hello, beautiful people. So, while I was away on my 3-minute break there, I found something because we've been getting into a habit recently on stream of reading out, and I'm way more in your face. I was back here in my chair, but I'm way up in your face. We've been getting in a habit recently on stream of sharing, okay, quotes, and I'm not a fan of cliche quotes like on Facebook, but there are some quotes out there that are really beneficial that I like to share with you guys in hopes that you take them to heart, because there are some good ones out there that really apply to what we're talking about. And I've got one for you again for stream today. It seems to be something we're doing kind of regularly. So this one says, you don't need to change your negative thoughts. You just need to change how you engage with them. Observe them. Choose not to believe them, and then let them naturally pass like clouds in the sky. They will pass. They always do. So what that's basically saying is what one of our two main keys has always said, which is to let the negative intrusive thoughts come. Be aware that that's first fear. Just like symptoms are first fear, those negative intrusive thoughts are first fear. So it's basically saying the same thing there as one of the two main keys. To let those first fear, negative intrusive thoughts come, don't react. Watch like a cloud in the sky, it'll pass, right? Don't react. Don't engage. Just let be. So our two main keys: don't engage with negative thoughts. Don't follow negative thoughts. You can word it however you want to word it. But yeah, we let those negative intrusive thoughts come. We let those symptoms come. We become aware that that's first fear. Okay, there's first fear. There's first fear present in my life at the moment, whether it be a symptom or whether it be a negative intrusive thought. And then we choose to just stay as awareness instead of engaging. And that's one of our two main keys. The other one, of course, is just to accept. Accept. This is the way I feel. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to work with this rather than against this, right? And I'm not going to tell myself horror stories about it. I'm not going to see it in a negative way. I'm not going to add to the negativity of the mind, right? So our two main keys in a nutshell right there. But I love that quote. So observe, don't engage, right? Is to face and not add second fear. Yes. How does one do that? Is the oh my goodness thought itself the second fear, or something else? The oh my goodness thought itself can be the second fear. If you have a mindset of, okay, there's first fear and oh my God, then you've already started adding second fear. The mindset has to be, I'm going to be aware of when first fear is present, whether that takes shape in the form of a negative intrusive thought or a symptom. I'm going to be aware of when first fear is present, but I'm not going to add any more oh my gods. I'm not going to jump in there and try to do anything about it. I'm not going to fight with it. I'm going to be simply aware of first fear, no second fear, right? Second fear is in your control, first fear is not. However, you can become aware of when first fear is present, whatever shape, whatever form that takes, and then make the decision, okay, no more second fear, right? I'm not going to engage. I'm not going to fight, resist, all of the above. Aware of first fear, not engaging with second fear. So a lot of people, tend to overcomplicate this thing, and that's just what humans do. They overcomplicate stuff. But we like to break it down as simple as possible. That's what we've done for a very long time here, and that's what we'll continue to do. Breaking it down as simple as possible. I'm becoming aware, and I'm pointing out first fear when it is there, whether that's in the form of a negative intrusive thought or a symptom or both. I'm just going to point it out and become aware of first fear without doing anything after that. I am aware of first fear, and I am staying aware of first fear without engaging, aka adding second fear. And this is the key. This is the kicker. This is how you recover. Being aware of first fear and leaving it at that. Right? A lot of people are in the habit of not even being aware of the first fear. So we gotta build that habit. Just let it be, really. If you just let it be and don't worry about it, it'll pass. Exactly. Which I know to a lot of people that's easier said than done, but this is the practice that we got to get into. Thank you, brother. I can't believe it got that bad last night. After all that I've learned, it was square one again. Again, not square one. right? You made a small mistake. You added second fear instead of just being aware of the first fear. This happens, and sometimes we have to fall quite a bit before we get on board. Before we really get on board, right? Yeah, don't ever search on the internet. That is a good piece of advice, Arnold. Obviously, you had to do some searching on the internet to get where you are now here on the stream. That's okay. Now that you're here on the stream, I can tell you that that's enough Googling. That's enough Googling. Yeah, you'll always, 9 times out of 10, if you resort to Googling, Dr. Google, you will just make it worse. I'm loving this practice. Awesome, Jesse. I'm glad you're on board. Yo, can I get a recap? Of course, my dude. So today we talked about understanding and dealing with mind attacks. Mind attacks is just a fancy word for negative intrusive thoughts. So the best way to deal with a mind attack, aka negative intrusive thoughts, is to be aware. To be aware that first fear is present, because what is first fear? First fear is symptoms. First fear is negative intrusive thoughts, or it's both. So the best way to deal with a mind attack is to point out when first fear is present, because a lot of people don't even do that part. They don't even point it out. So you need to point out to yourself, there's that first fear, there's that symptom, there's that negative intrusive thought. And then you need to leave it at that. Then you just need to be done at that point. Once you point out that first fear is present, you're in a place where you can make a decision. And that decision should be just to leave it alone and not add second fear. So a lot of people try to deal with mind attacks by getting involved, and that just fuels the fire, and you'll notice that you fall down this massive rabbit hole. The absolute best way to deal with mind attacks is to be aware that it's there. We have to practice sharpening our awareness. There is first fear, and leave it at that. Leave it at that. You have to leave it at that. So if you get concerned, will this ever end? Will this ever go away? Oh my God, oh my God. You know, if you get involved in any way, shape, or form, you are throwing gas on the fire, so to speak. So the only way and the best way to overcome anxiety, to heal, to overcome quote-unquote mind attacks, you know, all of this is the same, and it's all treated the same, is to simply be aware, to point it out, there's that first fear, and leave it at that. There's nothing to be added. There's nothing else to be done. The more you try to do, the farther down you fall. The more you try to do, the further down you fall. The more you try to do, the further down you fall. So that was really the point of today's stream, sharpening that awareness, pointing out to yourself when first fear is there. Again, what is first fear? Symptoms or negative intrusive thoughts, and then leaving it alone at that point. Put down the fight, let down your arms, get out of the ring, point out when first fear is present, and be done at that point, right? This is the only and best way to deal with it. This is stepping out of that ring. Yes, the conscious effort to try to do something about it, which just leads to a struggle, right? Stress, a struggle, a fight. Go ahead and call me Alice. I was there for many years. Many, many, many years. The fact that you're in the streams and you're learning this stuff, it might take some time to click. That's okay. That's why I do these streams. That's why I do the videos. Man, I gotta handle something stuff right now. Damn it, I really want to watch this stream, but gotta finish this crap I started before the stream came on. Love you all, and thank you so much, Wonder Bro. Much love coming right back at you. Hey, this will be uploaded. No worries. You can always catch up later. But we had a really good talk. I'm happy with it. I feel like you've got all you need to know. Don't worry. Hey, that's a good way to put it. So, I mean, really, dealing with mind attacks, dealing with that first fear is comes down to how you don't deal with it. Recovery is more about what you don't do than what you do. Every deadly illness, because I read stupid things about illnesses on Google. Yeah. Google is usually bad news for people that have sensitized nerves. Google's usually bad news. Lucky for everybody watching the stream, you're here with me now. Come here, my little babies. But before you found me, Google probably just scared the shit out of you, right? So it's safe to say if you're here on the channel and watching the stream and my videos, we can just go ahead and shut off Google. We should just be done with Google at this point. I don't know what else you're going to find that doesn't sum it up for you, you know? I don't know what else you're going to find that's really going to help you out. So, I mean, it's up to you. Nobody here is obligated to take my advice. I'm just giving my advice, and if people want to pick up what I'm putting down, that's fine. But in my humble opinion, if you're here on the channel, I think you should just be done with Google. It never did me any favors. I can say that honestly from the bottom of my heart. I mean, I found Claire Weeks, so I'll give it that. But 90% of the time, it never did me any favors. So, Holds is in the stream today. Hey, we all really appreciate you, bro, for the timestamps that you've been putting on the streams. I know everybody appreciates it. I know I appreciate it. You're under no obligation to continue doing that, but thank you for what you've done. Hell yeah, Google was a huge problem for me. Stay away from that shit, right? 90% of the time, if you're Googling about, anxiety, or if you're visiting forums, it's going to be a lot of fear-mongering. It's going to be a lot of extra stress. Extra stress. I understand that it has its purposes sometimes, but if you're using it for anxiety-related purposes, I would go out on a limb and say that at least 80% of the information on Google about anxiety is either A, in my opinion, not truthful or close to good advice at all, or B, it's just people scaring the shit out of each other. So that's my opinion. Absolutely, bro. Glad to contribute. I can't read today to the channel in any way. Hey, we appreciate it. We all do. You've got like the top liked comment every stream for those timestamps. So I know people are using them. Hey, just practice that awareness, Arnold. Practice that awareness of first fear. There's first fear, whether it's a symptom, a negative intrusive thought, or a mixture of the two. Become aware of first fear and then leave it at that. Become aware of first fear and then leave it at that. Recovery is more about what you don't do. Involvement seems like a good idea. It kind of feels natural. Like, I need to get involved, right, and do something about this. That's a human trait. It feels natural. But as you see, because you're here now, and because you ended up in the sensitized boat, as you saw for yourself, involvement doesn't really do anything but make it worse. Involvement doesn't really do anything but trick the brain into thinking that there's a real problem. And then you get more anxiety. And it's kind of ironic in that way. But that's all involvement really gets you. That is all involvement really gets you. So about the event that put me into the sensitized state. I don't think that's weird. You know, whatever your negative intrusive thoughts are about. I mean, everyone has different negative intrusive thoughts. More than likely everyone in this stream, their negative intrusive thoughts, which you probably are already very familiar with what thoughts have been bothering you lately. More than likely everybody in this stream has different streams of negative intrusive thought. And that's why I say the context is irrelevant. Forget about that being important at all. It's not important at all. The only thing that's important here is not the context, but rather how you go about dealing with this issue, which we just talked about, remaining as the awareness of first fear without adding that second fear, aka second fear is involvement. So that's the only important thing here, really. Forget about worrying about context. Forget about it. It's been a good one today, guys. I feel like we've knocked out some excellent points today. Most of our streams here lately have been pretty on point. Pretty happy with it. I feel like I'm repeating words a lot today. Hey, bro, how are you today? I'm doing good. How are you doing? Is it normal that my thoughts make me look at the world different, like I ask myself? So, if you become your thoughts, if you become your mind, then you'll start to look at the world differently. Because the mind always has a very shadowed, very foggy view of the real world. The mind always has some sort of negative outlook, some sort of not so true way to view the world. So if you know yourself as your mind, instead of just pointing out the mind when it's present, pointing out that first fear when it's present, and just not engaging, if you do the opposite and you become your mind and you live your life through the mind, then yeah, it can absolutely 110% change your opinions on things all the time. Absolutely. So it really comes down to that. You can live your life through the mind, which is set up for our survival. So it's predominantly negative most of the time. It does not give a shit what the topic is. It is predominantly negative and will produce predominantly negative intrusive thoughts. You can live your life knowing yourself as the mind. And since the mind is predominantly negative, you're going to feel predominantly negative. Or you can get into a much better habit to live a much happier, more peaceful life, which is to call the mind out when it's on its bullshit. I'm gonna put this really ghetto. So we can live through the mind, or we can get into the habit of calling our mind out when it's on its bullshit, and say, "Oh, there's the mind. I am aware of the mind. I am aware of what we call first fear. So those thoughts come, that's first fear. Those feelings come, that's first fear. I'm aware of first fear, but I know that I can choose not to engage and cut out second fear, right? Or I can go down the wrong path, which is to engage with every thought, which is going to lead to feeling pretty shitty. And we really have to make that choice. Today, do I want to feel shitty? Or today, do I want to practice noticing first fear, aka noticing the thoughts and not engaging? Or do I want to feel shitty today? And we really have to ask ourselves, which way do we want to go? Which way do we want to go? What do we want more? Do we want to put in the effort that it takes, which is very minimal, of noticing first fear and then not engaging? First fear is those negative intrusive thoughts, those feelings. Or do we want to continue to give into the bad habit of just falling down the rabbit hole every single day and engaging in every single negative thought until by the time it is time for us to go to bed, we feel like absolute shit, right? But can I change the mind to be positive? Because if I always run from my mind, that is stressful too. You're not running from your mind. You have to understand. When we ask you not to engage, this is the opposite of running. If you want to sit around and try to replace every single negative intrusive thought with a positive one, you're going to be in for a very hard battle, and it's going to whoop your ass. It's going to whoop your ass and make you its bitch every single time. There's a difference between being a positive person with positive perspectives and to have a positive perspective about your situation and about the thoughts and feelings. But actually trying to get really specific and fight with the negative intrusive thoughts, you're going to get your ass beat. You're going to get your teeth stomped in every single time. So don't run from the mind and don't fight with the mind. Don't do either. There's another choice. People don't realize. They think it's either fight with the mind, run from the mind, and that's it. That's the only two choices I got. Both of those, you're going to get your ass handed to you. Okay? The choice that you need to be going with is to just not engage. You don't have to run and you don't have to fight if you're not participating. Ooh, that was sweet. That was music to my ears. You don't have to run and you don't have to fight if you just don't participate, right? Mike Tyson in his prime is your negative intrusive thoughts, and he is in that ring ready to stomp your fucking ass. And it's your choice if you want to get in and try to fight him, you're going to get your ass beat. Or if you want to get in, and then you get in, and now you're running around the ring trying to get out. Both of those situations suck. So instead of fighting or running from, let's just go a totally opposite way and just not engage to begin with, just not participate to begin with. Right? Let's practice that instead. So you can be a positive person with positive outlooks and positive perspectives about your symptoms and your thoughts, which I highly recommend. But to fight with those thoughts is pointless. Just don't participate. Don't engage with you notice when first fear is there. There's that negative thought. There's that feeling. I'm just not going to participate. I'm just not going to engage. These things will pass like clouds in the sky go over all the time. And to try to fight and to try to run from, both ways are going to get you in trouble. You have to go, there's another way. A lot of people don't realize that. There's another way than fighting and running from. And that's just not participating to begin with. Just observing, just not engaging to begin with. So that's really, really what you got to understand. A lot of people don't know that third option exists. So just to be clear about the point I'm trying to make, which I'm glad you asked that question, Arnold, because that led to that little rant, which I think a lot of people needed to hear. Just to summarize, you can be a positive person about your life. You can be a positive person about your perspectives, the way you view your symptoms, the way you view the negative intrusive thoughts, your outlook on them. That's great, and I highly recommend it. Change of perspective is awesome. However, to engage with the negative intrusive thoughts is a losing battle every single time. And that's why one of the two main keys is to not follow, not engage, not participate. So you need to practice becoming aware of when those feelings come, when those thoughts come, and just not participate. A lot of people aren't even aware that that option is available. So you see a lot of people running around. Today I'm going to turn every single negative thought that comes to my head into a positive one. And by the end of the day, they're just sweating bullets. Oh my God, that was a bigger workout than doing 100 laps around my house. I don't know if I can keep that up. I flip-flopped all day. I did my best, and whew. I mean, I guess I feel better. It feels good to be positive, but I am wore the fuck out. You won't be able to keep that up for long. I'm telling you. You won't be able to keep that up for long. That'll just bring you short-term relief. That'll make the thoughts more powerful in the end because you're giving them focus and attention, which is fuel. You won't be able to keep the fighting up for long. And even if it does bring you relief, I would go out on a limb and say it might bring you a little bit of relief, but not for long. And the second way, running from them, is also not going to bring you any relief. If you try to fight them off, they just beat your ass. They just overwhelm you. So there's another option, and that's just not to participate to begin with. Just to become aware of when first fear is there. There's that symptom. There's that negative intrusive thought. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to participate. I'm not going to engage. I accept it for what it is, but I'm not engaging. I accept it for what it is, but I'm not engaging. So many people don't know that option exists. That's really what we got to get into the habit of, though. That is really what we got to get into the habit of, because if you notice, sometimes you can start your day feeling really, really good, and then by the time your head hits the pillow, you feel like shit. And that's because at some point over the course of your day, you started to engage with the negative thoughts in your head and fell down the rabbit hole. And your body's going to pay the price for that in the terms of anxiety and depression. So be aware that there is a third option, and that is to just not participate to begin with, to not engage to begin with, to just be more aware of first fear, symptoms, and negative intrusive thoughts, and then cut it off right there. Just be aware. I am aware, and that's it. I'm not engaging. I'm not participating in the bullshit games anymore, right? Understand that option is there. Will this be uploaded? Yes. I feel like this was a pretty good stream. I'm pretty happy with it. I've been saying the word pretty consecutively quite a lot today. I do that, man. I pick up on a word, like my brain picks up on a word, and it just repeats it. It just repeats it. Like, I don't know. Today the word is pretty. I forget what my word from. I don't know why I do that. It's like I find a favorite word of the day. You have helped me so much. I went out to breakfast with my family and just let the feelings come. That is awesome. Hey, bro, what's the best way to deal with the body sensations? To leave them alone. Had a huge DPDR attack while walking. Listened to your stream to get my mind straight. Stopped fighting against the fear. And my mind cleared itself in minutes. And the DP/DR was gone. So let's reread that again. Had a huge DP/DR attack while walking. Listened to your stream to get my mind straight. Stopped fighting against the fear, which is what we say to do. Don't participate. Don't engage. Just let it be. Acceptance. But you don't have to participate, a.k.a. add second fear. You don't have to do that. You can just not participate. Stopped fighting against the fear, and my mind cleared itself in minutes. And the DP/DR was gone. That is awesome. That is awesome. Very, very proud of you. Now, you got to continue to practice that, though. One success is a great start, and I'm so proud of you for that. But you got to stay on board now at this point. That's very, very important too. You got to stay on board at this point. Congratulations, keep it up. Second fear is the habit, we got to break the habit. Second fear is the habit, we got to break the habit. All right, guys, I'll be right back. 2 seconds. All right, we're back. I got the few days of practice, I guess. I got the few good... Okay, the few good... I told you I can't read today. I got the few good days, and then bam, sensation, but practicing flowing and accepting it. Flows right past. I've been watching all your videos and streams and player weeks, and I'm so thankful. Hey, you get it. You got it. You just have to be aware of first fear, cut out the second fear. Don't engage, don't participate. Don't engage, don't participate. Engaging in participation, is that even a word? I don't know. That is what leads to the fuel to the fire. Wonder Bro, can anxiety cause a serious thing? Absolutely not. I was trying to think of a smart analogy there, but absolutely not. Simply put and bluntly put, no, you're not gonna lose your mind or go insane. So these are what if worries that keep the cycle of anxiety around, because ironically enough, the more you entertain negative thoughts and negative worries, the more the body gets flooded with anxiety. This is what the body is programmed to do. The fear that the intrusive thoughts won't go away fully, which in itself is an intrusive thought that you probably are engaging with and participating in, right? Oof. Oof. So the fear that the intrusive thoughts won't fully go away in itself is a thought, is an intrusive thought that is being engaged. Ooh. Ooh. Sweet words. Sweet words. Mind is tricky. Mind is slippery. So far, I've been more than 3 weeks practice. My recovery is 60%. Thank you, Wonder Bro. Without, I wouldn't be here. Hey, it's my pleasure, dude. It's my pleasure. Happy to help. I'll always try to do my best for my community. Yeah, the mind being a bully, just what we talked about today, the mind being a bully, okay, that you don't have to engage with, kind of like the Mike Tyson in the boxing ring thing, right? Same concept, bully. You can call it a bully if you want to, which it will bully you. It will bully you if you choose to engage and participate. So the bully, so to speak, it wants your attention, it wants your engagement, it wants your participation. And if you choose to give it that, it's going to bully the shit out of you. If you choose to give it that, you're going to fall down the rabbit hole pretty quickly. But if you practice just spotting that first fear, which are the symptoms or the negative intrusive thoughts, the bully of the mind bully, if you practice just noticing when it's there, there's the first fear. There's the bully wanting my attention. And if you choose just to not engage and just let it be there, just let it be there. Let the feelings be there for the time being. Let the thoughts be there for the time being. But don't engage. Don't participate. They'll pass. But people are in a habit of engaging and participating, which just leads to things like sensitization, things like a lot of unnecessary anxiety, things like depression, right? You can have one negative intrusive thought that you choose to participate in, and it lead to a whole chain reaction. And by the end of your day, you've already ruined 2 friendships, you're extremely depressed, and you got into a fight at McDonald's. I don't know. You get what I'm saying, though. You can have one negative intrusive thought, and if you choose to participate instead of just being aware and reminding yourself I don't have to engage and just accepting, that'll pass and it'll leave you alone. But if you engage it could lead to a whole chain of negative events for you. And, it leads to things like anxiety, depression, sensitization, so forth and so on. So the bully wants your attention, but you have to choose just to stay as the awareness, right? Yeah, I think it's a pretty common reoccurring theme, Danny. And that in itself is, again, an intrusive negative thought. So some thoughts slip right in there and you don't even realize it. You don't even realize that, again, in itself is another negative intrusive thought. So very slippery sometimes. But yeah, Faith came up with that analogy, which I'm very proud of Faith. I know this stream is not about me and my girlfriend, but I just want to say I'm very proud of Faith because there's always been this slight worry in me when it comes to dating. That what if the person that I'm seeing doesn't want to listen to me rant? Because I love to rant. I love self-growth. I love improvement. What if the person that I'm seeing doesn't want to grow with me? What if the person that I'm seeing doesn't listen to what I have to say? What if the person that I'm seeing has no interest in improving their mental well-being? Which I'm all about 24/7 for myself and everybody else, right? So that's always been a small worry in the back of my mind. But Faith, on the other hand, she's ready to take the channel over, all right? She's ready to take the channel over, is all I'm going to say. She's on it. She's on it. Very, very smart girl. Holds. That scared me a little bit. That scared me for a second. That is a what if, Holds. You are correct. Probably one I should have participated in. That scared me a little bit. I had my headset on 100. Thank you so much for the $10 dono, dude. I truly appreciate it. Stream MVP, Holds, you do so much for this community, dude. You really do, and I truly appreciate you. You admin here on the channel, you admin in the Discord. You're adding the timestamps now, which are very, very helpful. You support with tips from time to time. Dude, you do so much for the stream, and I'm so thankful for you. I really, really am. Your name will be re-entered into the tip ticker. Thank you for all you do. If we could just have a round of applause with the emojis for Holds and all that he does for the channel, because this dude really does do quite a bit. Thank you so much, dude. Truly appreciate it. Glad for all you do. That was the tip note. Thank you, dude. Yeah, see, I mean, that's a perfect example, though. That leads into a perfect example. Even after you heal from sensitized nerves, guys, you might not have to deal with the 24/7 symptoms anymore, yada, 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 but you're still going to be a human being. I hate to break it to you. Spoiler alert, after you heal, you're still going to be a human being, and as a human being, if you're in the bad habit of engaging and participating with negative intrusive thoughts, you'll probably still have that habit even after you heal. Let's say you heal just by the skin of your teeth and through acceptance and through cutting out like 50% of the second fear and you heal, great. But as a human being, you still need to work on not engaging or participating with your negative intrusive thoughts. This is still a big one. I still work on this myself. I might not be sensitized anymore, and I haven't been for a very long time. But as a human being, I still work and grow and try to improve every single day on being awareness, on working on my awareness, growing my awareness. And it's served me a lot. It's been very beneficial. So, sensitized or not, you're human. And if you're taking in this information right now about being aware of your negative intrusive thoughts instead of engaging, instead of participating, sensitized or not, this is huge. And this is something you should do. It'll lead to a much better life. It'll lead to a much better life. Joyce, hello. Have I already said hello to you? Or did you just come in? I can't remember. Regardless, hello, Joyce. How are you doing? Second fear is just a bad habit of engaging, guys. And sometimes the bad habits take time to be broken, and that's okay. All second fear is that you are in a bad habit of engaging with first fear in a negative way. So all we're trying to do is become more aware of when first fear is there, point it out, and leave it at that. Point it out and leave it at that. because that's how we got here in the first place, talking back. Yeah, and then I sometimes get the question, well, how come some people are miserable people and they never end up sensitized? Well, chances are they don't add a ton of second fear. Yeah, maybe they go around all day, every day, engaging with their negative, intrusive thoughts, but they don't add a ton of second fear to the feelings, right? It takes a lot of second fear being added to the feelings for it to turn into sensitized nerves. But you can have people that are just miserable people because they engage with their negative mind all day long. They never become sensitized. Well, it's probably because they never got to that point of adding that much second fear. They're still doing a lot of self-talk. They're still engaging with every negative thought, but they're not adding a whole lot of second fear. They're just engaging, right? So that can explain why some people become sensitized and others don't. You're in a bad habit of adding a lot of second fear, but if you want to be a more peaceful person overall, even after you heal, let's get into the habit of adding no second fear. Let's get into the habit of not engaging, period, right? We learn every day. Learning will never end, and that's a good thing, I think. I agree with you 110%. I still, myself, I'm not some enlightened godhead, okay? I still myself work on not engaging negative intrusive thoughts. They don't happen as often as they used to. I'm getting better at it, right? And I haven't been sensitized for a very long time. But as a human being, I still work on that. And I enjoy it. It's fun now. It's fun. It's not so much work anymore. Now it's just kind of fun, right? And you'll get to that point too. So you mean to tell me all I had to do, I like the way you started that, was ride that bad weed trip out that sent me into DPDR in the first place? LMAO, that's what caused all these problems. One bad trip before I had no anxiety. Yeah, so you had a bad trip on some, after you smoked some weed, and, you added a lot of second fear to it, and the second fear broke the nerves down over time, and then it was just a continuation, second fear every single day, until you ended up into the sensitized boat, right? Right? So that's what happens. Sometimes we add just enough second fear to not panic and then stop because we realize how far we are getting, yet we still engage with the mind. Yeah. So it's, it takes work. It's a process. It's a process. So really, everybody here watching this, the main takeaway that you need to get from today's stream is to just be aware of when first fear strikes and point it out. Literally point it out if you have to. There's first fear. There's that first fear symptom. There's that first fear thought. And then leave it at that. Don't engage. Don't participate past that point. Right? Get into this habit and you'll heal and you'll live a better life overall. And even if you're not sensitized anymore and you're just hanging out on the stream, practice this daily anyway if you want to live a better life. Because don't get me wrong, you can be a miserable person and not be sensitized. So this is good for sensitized people, desensitized people, doesn't matter. Far and in between, doesn't matter. And I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, you've met miserable people, right? They're not necessarily sensitized. They don't deal with sensitized, the common sensitized problems. But they're still just miserable people. They're either douchebags or they're just all the time angry. Or maybe they're just all the time very sad, very depressed. And, you meet people that suffer, right? Not necessarily with sensitization, but you still meet a lot of people who are suffering. And it's because they don't add second fear to the point of a full-blown nervous breakdown. They're not that afraid of their symptoms. So they don't add all that second fear, right? But they're still suffering. And it's because they're still engaging and participating in the mind, right? I got an idea, chat. It's that time, chat. It's that time for a little bit of lo-fi. We're starting to get into that point of the stream where we're just vibing. We're just grooving. If that's too loud, let me know. If it sounds like I'm having to talk over it, just let me know. Look behind the filter, then you see the world is still what it was. Just the filter make looking bad or worse. I love that. That's a good comment. I heard creative people are more likely to get sensitized. Do you think it's true? Maybe in a way, because they tend to overthink things, right? So I could kind of see that. But regardless, spotting first fear and just not engaging with all that nonsense is the way to go, regardless. But yeah, I could see that. I could see why somebody might say that. Are you kidding me? Hold up. Hold up. You're joking. Darcy! Darcy, you didn't have to do that! Darcy! We had a tip come straight through the PayPal, which is why you didn't see it on screen. A $100 tip. Wow. A $100 tip from Darcy. I won't say your last name. Wow. What do you even say to that? Like, really, what do you even say to that? I don't know. I don't know how to even respond to that besides thank you. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. And I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think this is the first time this person has done this. Wow. I didn't see that coming. Thank you so much. I'm really glad I checked my phone because it's on mute and I would have missed that completely and I would have felt pretty bad about it. But holy shit, thank you so much. I don't even know what to say to that. I don't know if your YouTube name is different than your PayPal name, or I don't know who to thank here in the stream, but thank you so much for that. I don't even know if you're in the stream. But thank you, truly, from the bottom of my heart. That's crazy. $100 donation, $100 tip. It's amazing. You guys really like me, don't you? You're like, it blows my mind still, okay? It makes me a bit emotional. Not only do people enjoy what I do and they like to listen to me, but they also feel the need to support me and tip me, and I don't know, it blows my mind still to this day. I've been doing this for a long time. It still blows my mind though, and I'm so grateful. I'm so appreciative. Wow. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Darcy. I really hope I'm saying your name right. I'm still following the same 2-step rules. It's working slow but steady. Slow but steady. It's a daily process. Don't beat yourself up too much during the process, right? Yeah, wow is right, Joyce. Wow is right. It blows my mind. No! I caught the ad just in time. Just in time. I can't install ad block because I do YouTube. So it wouldn't feel right to install ad block. So I'm just not going to do that. So we have to deal with ads when we listen to music. That's because you rock. You're honest and don't ask for shit. I appreciate it. Yeah, tips are always optional. They're always optional. I literally put the word optional on the screen. Literally put the word optional on the screen. They do help me out a ton, but I'll never ask for them. I'll never go out of my way to say, tip me. I've never done that, and I never will do that because I hate to see that. I think it's kind of cringy, to be honest. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people that do that. Yeah, so they're always optional. But I am very, very grateful for the people who decide to do that. It really does help me out a ton, and I truly appreciate it. I promise I'm going to let it go. I won't say it anymore, but thank you so much. $100 donation. That is insane. Thank you. Faith, are you eating your chicken or whatever it is that you got? I need to go. This was a really good live. Thank you. It'll be uploaded, so feel free to rewatch it later. Taking y'all with me while I'm grocery shopping. That's awesome. We're vibing, chat. We're vibing. We got the lo-fi going. Lo-fi always makes me so relaxed and so sleepy. It's ridiculous. It feels good. You guys like this kind of music? I'm burpy for some reason. Or maybe that's hiccups. I can't tell the difference. Let me link you guys actually real quick. I'm going to drop the Discord link. We are so close to 400 people, chat. We are so close to 400 people, chat. I'm going to drop that. Great community over there on the Discord. Also, I'm going to drop the link to the stream that I keep talking about where we did the chart and the graph on first and second fear. So beneficial. And if you check the comments, hold time-stamped it all so you can check those comments and figure out where to start. But either go watch this now because I highly recommend it or save it for later. But there it is. Honestly, probably one of the best streams on first and second fear that I've ever done. And that's saying a lot considering I've got almost close to 1,000 uploads. So, bookmark it, save it for later. Scroll down to the comments. You'll see where Holds commented the different points of the stream and watch some of those. The one you want to click on is... let's see. The one you want to click on is the 212 mark where it says comparison begins and first fear diagram 154. So those were some of the main points of that stream. What's up, Jesse? Is your puppy still chewing all your shit up? Love this beat. If you enjoyed the stream, guys, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, make sure you hit that like button. It really does help us grow. Ever since I've been reminding people to like the stream, because I know most of the time people just forget, but ever since I've been doing that, I've been watching the numbers to see if we're actually growing. And it's true. The rumors are true. The more you like the streams and the videos, the bigger reach each video gets. Because our sub count has went up much more since last week. So even though I don't want to be that guy that's like, make sure you hit the like, but I'm going to start being that guy a little bit because it really does help. And I noticed that. So I don't like that guy, but I'm going to be that guy for a little bit because now I know why that guy does what he does. Any more questions, guys? We got any more questions in stream? Feel free to ask. We're approaching that hour and a half, 2 hour mark, which is normally when we start to wind the stream down. So if you have a question, now's the time to ask. This is the final call for questions. Any questions in the stream? Don't overthink it. Don't get up in your head and start thinking, can I think of a question? Don't start obsessing. But if you've legitimately got a question to ask it. Final call. As soon as the weekend comes, the negative thoughts set in and they get me. Yes, this is where you have to practice non-engagement. It's good to stay busy, because it helps keep you present. But you can be practicing non-engagement, right? You can be practicing non-engagement even on the weekends when you have nothing to do. Faith is over here in the chat screaming in all caps about how she just ate mashed potatoes. And this is why this is the girl for me. How come the mind makes pains that aren't actually there in the body? So the mind is powerful. The mind is powerful. If you think long enough about how your foot is itching, even though it's not itching, it'll start to itch. So really we can sum that up with the mind is powerful. What you give focus and attention to can manifest. I'm not saying you're going to have a heart attack, right? You can't manifest that. All I'm saying is if you give your focus and attention to something long enough and you engage with those negative thoughts long enough, they can feel like they're starting to take shape, right? And that's just because the mind is very powerful in deceiving you. $6 dono. You've donated before in the past, and I always say the same thing, that I don't want to pronounce your name wrong. So I'm not even going to try again. I'm not going to try. I need to come up with a nickname for you. We're gonna call you M. We're just gonna call you M. Your name starts with an M. We're gonna call you M. Thank you so much for that, M. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Hall of Fame, the stream MVP, and the tip ticker. Your name will be re-entered, guys. Thank you so much. Holy shit, you didn't have to do that. We got hit with the $100 tip, and we still got people over here tipping. I appreciate you guys. Seriously, thank you so much. Thank you so much, M. If we can show some love to our tippers today. Show some love to our tippers today. Let them know that we're grateful and thankful for them. Your girl looked like she listened to Kesha. Is that Kesha? Keisha? Cole? I don't know who that is either. I'm not sure who that is, but I'm going to check her out. Avoid your fears and they will grow. Move towards them and they will subside. Yes. So, Will, basically to summarize on your question, the mind is a very powerful thing. If you engage and participate in thoughts, even if they are not true, you can start to see that your mind kind of starts to deceive you and convince you that they are true. And that's how much power the mind has. And that's why participating or engaging with negative intrusive thoughts is not a good idea. So we leave those alone, and they pass like clouds. But the more we get into the ring, as Faith said with the bully, the more we pick a fight with the bully, you got to imagine this bully's like 6'8", like 300 pounds with a fucking 24-pack, right? He's going to beat your ass. So if you stop engaging and just do nothing, just let him burn itself out. The mind will burn itself out, and this is what you got to practice. My guess was Kesha, yeah. That was my guess. I don't know who that is. Stop fighting with the bully because he's obviously bigger than you are. Stop trying to run from the bully because he's obviously faster than you are. And just practice the third option, which most people don't even know exists, which is to just not engage to begin with. Just don't show up to begin with. Just don't participate to begin with. You can't outrun the dude, and you can't fight the dude, so just don't show up to the ring to begin with. That's a very valuable option that's going to change your life if you practice it. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I like how my girlfriend is in chat screaming. I'm still on that. Screaming about how she ate mashed potatoes. This is my soulmate, chat. Speaking of food, I kind of want to order food now. I think I'm going to do that. Chat, I'm going to order food real quick, and I'll be right back. Oh, and one last thing. It's all thanks to you guys, because I was a broke bitch, so appreciate it, guys. Thank you. All right. All right, chat. Wow. Why is that doing that? Does it look to you guys like it's just really, really blue now? What the hell? It's just like it became much... These lights behind me just became much brighter or something. I don't know. Am I seeing things? You guys notice that too? What exactly did you eat, Faith? What did you order? Just in case I have anxiety. So there's still a lot of second fear as far as anxiety is concerned, right? So practice spotting that first fear. What is first fear? Symptoms or negative intrusive thoughts, and practice leaving it at that. Tips and tricks to keep a girl for life. Make sure they're fed, because if they're not fed, they're going to be angry. Make sure they're fed. Make sure they have vape juice. And talk nicely to them. And give them tips and pointers on how to better their mental well-being so that they feel better and so that they feel happier. That's my tips and tricks. I know you asked Faith. We'll see what Faith has to say. I think she'll agree. I got a yawn, but I can't. This negative thought pattern then pops up in every little activity when I'm planning to do. So the negative thought pattern is there and you're aware of it. You're aware that it's a negative thought pattern, which is a great first step. A lot of people are not even aware that they're negative intrusive thoughts. They're just totally consumed. So that's a great first step. But what you need to do after that first step of being aware that the negative intrusive thought is there is what's going to make the difference. Don't engage. Don't add to, don't fight with, don't wrestle with, don't engage. I was going to say the same. Yeah. Oh, is the lo-fi gone? Is the lo-fi gone? It should be there. Can I hear the music anymore, chat? What did you order? I ordered a calzone and a salad. The salad's not for me. So, you can guess which one of the two's for me. Is it the calzone full of meat and cheese and extra cheese with garlic butter dipping sauce? Or is it the salad? Which one do you guys think that I'm ordered for myself?
Over the last
Ad. I caught the ad on time. Buy her food. Buy her nicotine if she smokes or vapes. Long hugs. Understanding. No such thing as arguments. There you go. Excellent advice. I think it's really important, okay? And I've never claimed to be a relationship expert. But I think it's really, really important and really, really vital for your relationship to be a long-term success, okay? And I think this applies to everything in life, but I think it's really, really important and really, really vital for any relationship to be a success that you have to come to an understanding of just how much the negative mind is going to try to ruin things. If both people are consumed by their ego mind and negative intrusive thoughts, and they're always engaging in their negative intrusive thoughts, this is going to lead to many, many fights, arguments, and disagreements. So in order for a relationship to really make it the distance, you either have to A, find a partner who already understands all of this mind stuff and is not completely consumed by their ego mind, or you have to B, find a partner who is at least willing to listen and learn about negative intrusive thoughts in the ego mind. Because if you've got a partner who is totally just consumed by the negative mind, and they're not even willing to listen or learn, it's going to be really difficult for you to stay happy, and it's going to be really difficult for that relationship to make it in the long run. So you really got to do one or the other. And you got to be aware, of course, of your own negative mind. You got to work on that for yourself, too. Not engaging with negative, intrusive thoughts. But you really have to find a partner who either knows all this already or is at least willing to learn, because it's just hard. It's 90% of breakups are due to the fact that you've got one or both people who are totally negative mind consumed by their negative intrusive thoughts, which leads to a lot of assumptions, arguments, and disagreements. So in order for a relationship to make it, that's absolutely has to be done. No way, you are a love guru, the gangsta of love. Thanks for that, Jesse. Salad, 100%, right? You think I ordered the salad for me and not the calzone? I know you're capping, all right? Advice for dealing with anxiety/stress, tension, and neck. I keep stretching, but it doesn't help. Should I just stop? If the stretching is not bringing you any comfort, then there's really no need to do it, right? It's kind of pointless. You need to be more aware of first fear and not adding second fear. As long as you're doing that, you'll eventually see healing. You'll eventually see a reduction in the symptoms. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I can't tell you how to take away your physical symptom because it might just not be possible, but I can tell you how to get to long-term healing, which will lead in a reduction and a fading away of the symptoms. That's what I can tell you. An overbite, yeah. Hope he grows into a good dude like him. Oh, that is so sweet. What are you guys talking about? I didn't know this until recently, but I have spent my entire life calling calzones calzones. Okay. Yeah, I think he told me that. LOL when he says success. Success. Now I'm on board. I was reading comments backwards and wondering why I was confused. Well, that's probably why. I hope he grows into a good dude. Now I know what you meant by that, and that is very sweet. I'm flattered. I'm flattered, Jesse. You're a good dude. You are genuinely a good dude, Jesse. I love you guys. Every one of you in here is good people. Good people. Yeah, Rune, so that's the thing. A lot of people are looking for a way to make their symptoms go away. A way to make their symptoms disappear. And that just doesn't happen. So, not immediately anyway. So you get into this resistance stage where you're just beating yourself up and making everything worse. So although I can't tell you how to make your symptoms just disappear, I wish I could, I can tell you how to change the bad habit of second fear and lead that to healing. Lead that to the symptoms fading and eventually leaving. That's what I can tell you. So put a hold on the resistance, stop the resistance, be more aware of first fear. What is first fear? Symptoms and or negative intrusive thoughts. Be aware that you can leave it like that. You can just simply be aware of the first fear and not add second fear. And you don't add second fear by just being aware, by just floating above, right? Yeah, I'm no relationship expert by any means, but I can tell you just from understanding how the mind works that relationships don't work out if one or both people are in the bad habit of following every single negative intrusive thought, because the mind's going to tell you a bunch of shit, right? And it's going to lead to a bunch of shit for your relationship. So I can tell you that. Only good dudes and dudettes here. Only good vibes, man. We don't have time, chat. Considering that we only live once and that there's no redos, we don't have time, okay, for negativity. We don't have time for douchebags. We've built a community here that's full of love. Just got here and we'll have to go back and watch the whole thing. I was dealing with this yesterday. Hit hard, terrible intrusive thought, became so obsessive. So just a quick recap. You need to get into the habit of pointing out when that first fear is there, aka symptoms, intrusive thoughts, and leaving it at that. Don't engage, because if you fight, you're going to get your ass kicked. If you try to run away, you're going to get your ass kicked. Just don't even show up to the ring to begin with. Just don't even participate to begin with. That's a third option that a lot of people don't even know they have. It's great if you finally have learned that and now practice that, and you will reap the fucking benefits, believe me. I didn't just pull this out of my ass, chat. I didn't just one day sit down and pull all of this out of my ass. I got this from years of personal experience and seeing it work firsthand, just like Dr. Claire Weeks said that she had to see her advice work firsthand. I seen this work firsthand on myself when I was peeing in bottles. Okay, so I didn't just pull this out of my ass. This comes from years of personal experience. This comes from reading Dr. Claire Weeks' Hope and Help for Your Nerves. This comes from learning from all these great spiritual teachers that have so much knowledge that it is just unbelievable, above and far beyond anything we can comprehend. I've learned this from many great teachers and many personal experiences that I've been through. This is not something I just yanked out of my ass and said, here you go, try your best, it might work for you. This shit works. And if you don't believe me, ask the hundreds of people that have healed here on the channel. If you don't believe me, ask the people that went from terribly negative and just consumed by their mind to living a more peaceful life these days. If you don't believe me, go watch the Recovery Success Comments video where we break it down and show a bunch of people who went from absolutely ground zero to living a better life. If you don't believe me, try it for yourself. I don't think I've watched that, Sam. I'm trying to eat chicken. Have at it, girl. Dig it. Dig it. How to get out of this thought, what other people think of you, by not engaging with the thought. So again, don't even show up to the ring. The thought is there. It wants you to get involved. It wants you to participate. That's the trap of the mind. But we're not even going to show up to the ring. We're just going to notice that it's calling for us to come over. But we're not going to show up because we know we can't fight this dude. We know he's stronger than us. We know we can't run away from this dude. We know he's faster than us. So we're just not going to show up to the ring to begin with. A very important option that a lot of people don't even realize they have. So, if you let it, the mind will ruin your life. There you go. I'll put it as bluntly and as simply and as straightforward as possible. If you let it, the mind will ruin your life. But if you make it a habit to not participate and not show up to the ring, you will get ahead. I believe you. I've been feeling so much better, but I was like, nope, not today. I know you believe me, Julie. I was just throwing that out there because I know there's some people that come at this and they think, what is he talking about? Not engaging with my thoughts? How's that going to fucking work, right? Like blowing up somebody else's ass. I know there's people out there that are like that, and it's very unfortunate for them. It's very unfortunate for them. So I wanted to make that clear. If you don't believe me, try it for yourself. If you don't believe me, do some research on the topic of not engaging in negative thoughts. If you want to go read about the brain studies and the spiritual teachers and all the science behind it, go do that if you need to do that. If that's what it's going to take to convince you, so be it. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I used to be a non-believer myself in all this stuff. And I suffered so long, so unnecessarily because I refused to believe and try. And I didn't have to do that to myself, and I don't want anyone else to do that to themselves. You're the GOAT, bro. Hey, I appreciate you, Will. You're the GOAT, dude. You're always so supportive. I appreciate you. Yanked out of my ass. I can't stop laughing. You have helped me in ways I can't even thank you enough for. Thank you. I will forever be grateful for you. I will forever be grateful for you, chat. This community, right? You guys, and I'm not talking about tips. That's great. That's great. It helps me survive. Thank you so much for that. But what I'm talking about here, when I say I'm so grateful for this community, is that you guys keep me on track. I love to get on here and rant and talk about all these great truths about how we can choose not to engage in the negative mind, how we can live better lives because of this, right? How we can change our perspectives. I love talking about all these great spiritual truths for healing and growth. I love it, and it gets me fired up, it gets me motivated, and it keeps me on track. I might not be sensitized, but I'm still human, and I'm still growing myself. I'm still growing myself, and to be here with this community and to be able to talk to you guys about it keeps me on track. So yeah, the tips are great, but what I'm talking about here, when I say I'm grateful for my community, you guys give me a gift that I can't find anywhere else, and that's the gift of staying on track. That's the gift of staying motivated. You guys keep me motivated. I'm still growing. I'm still growing every single day. And when I get on here and I lecture with and talk with you guys and rant with you guys, it gets me fired up and it keeps me motivated to continue growing myself. And that's a gift that I can't get anywhere else. So I appreciate you guys. I really do. I really, really do. I really, really do. It's good to get motivated. It's good to get going. It's good to get determined. Sometimes our mind breaks us down so far that we feel like we can't get out of that hole, right? And sometimes we just need to sit down with other like-minded people and just exchange and just talk. And we can break through that filter of the mind and get going again, right? You can almost feel it click when that bad mood switches off because you're learning this valuable information. You're getting motivated. You can almost feel it click, right? And you guys help me do that. You guys help me stay on track with my own growth, and that's invaluable. I appreciate it. Will, bro, you guys are insane with the tips today. Insane with the tips today. Will with the $10 dono, heart emoji in the notes. Will, thank you so much for that. I'll get back to comments in just a second. Will, thank you so much for that. I appreciate you guys. I'm blown away. Just take a peek. Just take a peek at the tip goal today, chat. You guys have blown it out of the water. So thank you guys so much. I don't know what I would do without you. Truly appreciate you guys. What a stream. What a stream. Am I right? Great stream. Appreciate you guys. I really do. You're going to get me emotional, chat. You're going to get me emotional just thinking about how much my community helps me, and you don't even realize it. You don't even realize it, chat. And again, I'm not talking about tips, but just in general, just getting me motivated, keeping me determined because I want to help people, right? Keeping my own self on track because I'm still very much growing myself. You don't realize how much you help me, chat. So I appreciate it. You've also helped me as well. I'm about to cry of happiness because I can finally sit down and eat after starving myself for nearly a week. I can't get this out of my head. So that's the thing. That's the thing, right? We can lead by example. You know, I might be in this place and you might be in that place, but we can lead each other by example. I can help people feel better. And if you'll listen to what I got to say and if you'll actually use it, understand that I have nothing but pure intentions. So why would I waste my time if I didn't have anything? But why would I be here? Why would I lecture people? Why would I try to help you, Faith? Why would I try to help the chat? Why would I try to help all these people here if I didn't have pure intentions, right? So I'm not trying to call you out. I'm not trying to say, hey, you're living the wrong way. What I'm trying to do is not call you out. I'm just trying to say, here's a better way to live. And you can take it if you want to take it. But I promise you, you'll feel much better if you do. Right? Right? That's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to make people feel better. I'm just trying to provide people with a better way to live. That's it. Nobody here has to listen to me. It's totally up to you. But when I say practice not engaging with these thoughts because you're going to get your ass beat, not engaging with these thoughts because you can't run away from them. Instead, just don't even participate to begin with. When I tell you to do that, it's because I want you to heal. It's because I know you'll live a better life if you do. It's because I know you'll be much, much happier, right? Right? That's the thing. That's the thing. You deserve so many more subs, bro. Millions of people out there need your advice. They are spending thousands on bullshit therapists and meds every day. Hey, like I said, we're growing every single day, and it's thanks to you guys. We're growing every single day, and it's thanks to you guys. I would never recommend that someone stop taking their meds. I would never recommend that someone stop seeing their therapist, but I get your point. I get your point. This channel has helped a lot of people. So it's up to you if you want to use this advice, but I recommend it. I recommend it. It will help you out. It will help you out. As far as deserving more subs, hey, we're getting there. We're right around the corner from 10K. Like I said, it's all thanks to you guys, so we are getting there. As far as subs are concerned, we're growing every single month. We're growing every single month. That arrow stays green, chat. That arrow stays green. I have never seen it in the red, which means even if we're going slowly, we're still going. We're still going, and it's thanks to you guys. What is the right approach for exposure? With the mindset of first and second fear, with understanding first and second fear, right? That's really all you need to remember and hold on to, is to spot second fear, which is the symptoms or intrusive negative thoughts, and then not participate by adding second fear. Just don't participate. Spot first fear and don't participate. I've said the word fear too many times today. I'm getting tongue-tied. There's not enough people like this small community out there. You all are so special. Hey, we're almost at 9,000 strong, right around the corner. It blows my mind. I never thought we'd make it to 9K. I definitely didn't think we'd make it to 10K. And we're so close. We are so close. So close. All right, chat, we just passed, or we're about to pass the 2-hour mark in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. Thank you guys so much for another excellent stream. These streams have been very on point recently, and we're just vibing, chat. We're just vibing. So thank you guys so much for all you do for the channel, for all of your love and support. Couldn't do it without you. Remember, you are special, and to smile a little bit more today. Think about all the things you're grateful for. And when you spot that first fear, when you spot those symptoms and those negative intrusive thoughts, remember what Wonder Bros said. You have a choice on whether or not you participate or just leave it alone. All right, you guys, remember that, and you will heal. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you want to join us over on Discord, I'm going to drop that really quick. If you want to stay chatting with the community, you can join us over on Discord. Right there, I'll give you a few seconds to click on that link. It's completely free if you want to keep the conversation going. And I will see you guys in the next stream and or video, probably stream, but I'll see you there. All right, love you guys. Right there. Stay awesome.